Hi, do you miss me? 22nd, I will do a free live webinar. Scared them off. I will do a free live webinar on how the cat feng shui your home to solve it with 5 easy strategies to solve any behavioral problems your cat might have or to prevent from getting them in the first place. So this might be problems like aggression towards you or to your other pets, peeing or pooing outside a litter box, scratching on furniture, jumping on stuff you don't like, over grooming, any of those things. You can always ask me if anything else happens, but your cat can get very stressed out by things you wouldn't even believe. Schat maakt superveel lawaai. Hey there, say hello, tell me where you're from. So I always start these live streams with cases I have seen during the week. So this means, like just today, I saw Karma, and this is my sister's cat. And Karma is a very, very lovely cat. Every time I see Karma, I can pet Karma. He's very lovely. He comes for pets. He lets himself be petted. But when I even give him a medical look in that direction, he's gone. And he starts, and if I touch him in a medical examinational way, he starts being very much different, a little to the aggressive side even. So before, more than a year before, especially because I had to do it alone, now I have my assistant, I had to sedate him before I could do anything. This way the cat will not learn anything. And my sister lives a bit too far from the practice, so and the cat gets very stressed out on the way to the practice, like defecates and urinates in the carrier while he's in the car getting to me. So in this case, an at-home visit was better. I usually do not prefer this for cats because we are invading their safe space. Not ideal. We prefer they come to the vet. Now, you can do a lot of things to make this much less stressful, like leaving the carriage where the cat is most of the time. My sister definitely does this, like carrier training. That's a whole other different problem. You need a lot of patience for that, but it's something you could do to make your cat more comfortable. Make sure you have a very good carriage, a carrier. What do you call the thing where you what do you call the little thing where you transport the cat to the vet? Carrier is what I usually use, but do you call it something else? Let me know. You can type in the chat, don't need to be shy. I'll feel less alone if you say something to me. Tell me where you're from, first of all. That would be nice. So for Karma, we did use something in advance to make him more calm, at ease. And this time I could do about anything. So I could examine his face, like the eyes, the teeth, the ears. I could examine the heart without a problem. He would always be just touching you with a stethoscope and he would go berserk. So he was calm. We did cover him with a blanket with the Feliway pheromones on them. So that helps also to make him feel like, it feels like I already know this. He recognizes the smells. So that is nice. Um, so give me just a second. Stop time. It's super Thanks. So where was I? You can always help me stay on track. So, but my sister was saying that Karma was having some problems with getting on his big vertical scratching post because she was doing something very good. She was spreading his food all over. So in heights, in lows, in a bowl, in a food puzzle. So as natural as possible. Very nice. It's very doable if you have just one cat. A little bit More difficult if you have two cats. Connection is unstable. Hello. Can you still hear me? Let me know, because apparently my connection was a little bit unstable there. And she noticed he was having trouble getting up there. Now, Karma goes outside as well, and we had to let him go outside because nothing seemed to work for my sister. When she first got Karma, he was peeing and pooing outside of the litter box. And this was many, many years ago, when I was just a vet and not so much specialized in the cat behavioral scene. So, yeah. Also, once the cat goes outside, it's very difficult. Once the cat is used to that, it's very difficult to keep him happy inside. It's a choice. Usually, I say it's a choice you better make right at the beginning. Keep him inside. Never ever let him go outside, or yeah, get him outside. Let him go outside, and let him always have the freedom to go outside, or at least make it predictable. Like, now you can, and when it's dark, you cannot. Cats can get used to that. It's a little bit stressful for a cat if you take away a choice, but if it's predictable, it's less stressful. So what I was thinking about, first of all, she doesn't know if he had peed. Why did I think about this? Because male cats that are castrated easily get a blocked bladder. Now I have a very thorough video about blocked cats on my channel. Be sure to check that one out. Even if your cat has never had this, it's very good that you see it, because you will know the signs if ever it happens, because it is a big, big emergency. If you do not react on time, your cat will die. And I know this because my cat, my very first cat, died this week. Excuse me. Still getting emotional about this from time to time. My very first cat, James, he died at 7 years old from this, and I was in my very first year of university. So I didn't know shizzle. I knew that it happened, but knowing the signs, I wasn't home. During the week, I was at uni in a dormitory kind of thing, in my own space. But I only knew it when we came home, and then I only saw him for one more day, and then he died when we were away for like 30 minutes. So that was really sad for us. Yeah, still think about it. That's why I'm really passionate about that topic as well. And the very first thing you're going to notice is a behavioral change. So any behavioral change is super important. It can be stress, and if nothing medical is found, it must be stress, and then we need to do a lot of other things. But if you see any behavioral changes, it very often is medical. So very first thing you need to do is consult with your veterinarian. Have at least a general exam. That's very important. Very important. Please do not save on budget for that, because cats will hide for as long as possible that there's something wrong with them until it is too late. So that is very painful for the owner, but especially painful for us if we realize, yeah, we can't do anything. And if you came a little bit sooner, yeah, then we could have saved your cat, and now we cannot. Very painful for us. If we studied that long, we didn't study that long at university to have this happen. And yeah, after 10 years in my own practice, it still freaking happens too often. But you always have the two sides. Like, you have the side where people wait way too long because they don't know. And then there's the side people that react for the littlest of things, and there's never ever anything wrong with that cat. Yeah, then we have to be careful not to think it's gonna be nothing again, because this time it might be something. So that is, yeah, tricky to keep in mind. Can you all hear me fine? Because you're not very active in the chat. Oh, you are here? Are you all here? can see there's 3 of you here. I'm so happy. At least we have 3. Do you have any questions for me, by the way, while I'm ranting? Put them in the chat and we can talk about it. Maybe I can help you with something. Is your cat doing anything that you don't like, perhaps? Or is your cat being sick with a certain thing? So I did feel the belly of Karma, but it was very tense. So I'm actually a little bit double worried in that case because, well, it's a bit difficult because it might be tense because he's stressed out that I'm touching him and he couldn't, do anything about it. And he was growling, but I couldn't feel into the tummy because it was very tense. So I couldn't feel if the bladder was big or not. So my advice was here that if there was any doubt, please don't let Karma go outside this time, just to see if he is still peeing well. And if not, if there's any doubt, we need to take an ultrasound of the bladder to see if it's not too big. And if not, maybe we need to do a cystocentesis, meaning, very nice one, going with the needle into the belly, in the bladder, and taking the PP out from there, because that's the best way to do any analysis on it, because any other way it will be contaminated with bacteria. So if you let your cat, we humans, they ask from us to do a midstream urine, meaning peeing a little bit, then capturing it, then and taking it away before you stop peeing. So in the middle of the stream, but you cannot do that with cats. Trust me, they will just run away. You have different methods to capture the pee from the litter box. You have those little silica gels. I have them in my practice, but I never use them. I know for a fact one of my cats definitely will never ever go in the litter bin with something like that in there. Anything different in his litter bin, he will just pee outside of the litter box. I tried for a while with the wood scarves thingies, like compostable. We tried for a month. For a month, he peed on blankets and the sofa. Once I changed it back, he just peed in the litter box again. So, don't change the grind. Or change it to fine sand. And non-scented. Very important, non-scented. Cats don't like any foreign scents in there. So yeah, I am curious about Karma, if that is a problem or not. We shall see. It would surprise me if Karma had worms, because she is giving preventive deworming, but she cannot always get it on Karma, or not that well. So that's not easy. But worms seem unlikely. Also, they will not. Yeah, why wouldn't Karma be able to jump on there? So another thing might be very, very unlikely is like a hernia in the back or something. A little, how do you call that? When you strain something, maybe he strains something all of a sudden. It's very possible. All of this is very possible. So that is Karma for you. Very interesting cat. Very nice cat. Very beautiful cat too. It's like a little tiger, and he looks like he has some Bengal in there, and I know from experience from my cat Raja. So yeah, it's got quite some character there. Feisty. So if you don't have any questions for me yet, I will find another case for you guys. Let's see. Did we have another cat? Yes, this was a first time. Okay, so we have Gilles or Gilles. This is a British short hair. And believe it or not, even for cats, like we call that bred breeding or kitten farms. You have puppy farms, but you also unfortunately already have kitten farms. I think my light is going out. So this means mostly It's about pet shops where they sell pets. Don't ever buy don't ever buy a dog or a cat from a pet shop, because they will not have bred this dog or cat. In this case, we're talking about cats. They will adopt them from a shelter these days. It's not difficult to buy a new cat from these people, and from a good breeder, it is difficult. So here in Belgium, what usually happens is you go to these places, you see a cat you fall head over heels with, and then, yeah, they're stuck with the feeling either you, you're really in love with the cat, either you're saving them from this bad situation. And very often what happens is you only get the passport once you've paid. So they even did a little insider documentary about this, meaning someone went undercover, and they knew that this happens, so they explicitly asked for the passport to look in advance, and they had all the best excuses. They were so trained to do this. They had the best excuses not to show you this passport before you paid. Like, oh, well, that's a lot of work to find the passport, and then if you don't buy, well, it's a lot of hassle, la di da di da. Yeah, very, very good. Also, they, especially with little pups, they give all kinds of vitamins and supplements for when you go home. Uh, they don't need that. They really don't. So it's like really to cover any starting disease, because usually they have some kind of infectious disease because of the transport they had. So usually these cats, they come from outside of Belgium, and it's usually from countries like Hungary, Czechia, things like that. If we see this on the passport, you can see the two letters like HU and CZ, CZ, stuff like that. And we know it's from, yeah, a kitten farm. So especially for British short hair, this can be, you can get very lucky. You can get a very lovely cat, no problems whatsoever. But most of the time, you will either get, and or you can get a cat that has, especially a bred cat, a breed. You can get all the problems with the breed. Like for a British short hair, this is the heart problem. If the mother and or the father had this heart problem, the kitten has more chance of having it. So a good breeder will test the mother and the father, and at least one of them, but preferably both of them, do not have this problem. It's called HCM, so hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, meaning that the left side of the heart, the big ventricle or the chamber, the muscle becomes thicker and thicker, and then the hole where the blood goes into, when it relaxes, becomes smaller and smaller. So it cannot fill up with blood first to pump it back to the rest of the body. And that usually results, if this is too bad, in the cat instantly dropping dead. So it's devastating for the owner. And very often we don't even hear a murmur or anything in advance, and we have to see on autopsy that it was HCM. So that's very sad. Very sad indeed. I don't like when this happens. I have seen a heart like this on dissection when I studied. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's very sad for the cat. Very weird for us to like, we're at the vet. Oh, it's interesting. Ah, it's sad for the animal. Oh, but it's interesting. So we're a bit torn between emotions and intellect, I would say. Um, so I always get distracted by myself. Um, so the other thing is, so medical problems. Most of the time it can be HCM, it can be polycystic kidney disease, an eye problem with the retina letting go. So, oh, there goes my light. I'm very sorry. I didn't charge it enough. And another problem with kittens from a kitty farm that are not well bred, they also are not well socialized. And this is where the behavioral problems start. So what can what can happen there is that you have a very scared cat hiding all of the time. And if it is a cat that is confident versus shy, like if any of you saw my quiz, the confident cat will pee and spray in the house. He might attack, while the shy cat will hide all the time and will do nothing for the rest. So it's actually even more sad because the shy cat feels like they cannot change anything in the environment, while the confident cat feels like it can. And so the confident cat is, in that way, releasing some stress, but the shy cat is not. So a little bit more about socialization, maybe. This is in two parts. So you have the 2 to 7 weeks and then the 8 to 16 weeks. So it's very important that a cat stays with their mother for as long as possible. So I don't know if you have this in your country, but it used to be at 8 weeks, the kittens were already given away. This can cause a lot of behavioral problems. A lot. They learn from their brothers and sisters and from their mom what is okay and what is not, when they're bitten too hard or scratched too hard, what are normal behaviors and what are not. And that's the 2 to 7 weeks. And after that, um, well, 2 to 7 weeks is like what is it to be a cat, and then 8 to 16 weeks is more like how does the environment react to what they do, is what they'll learn then. So it's not bad that they have a few weeks with the new owner to learn all the new things that are there that weren't there from when they were born. So do prefer not to have it too much. So in Belgium, it's by law required that they stay with the mom until 12 weeks. Some experts say it should be 15 weeks. Um, but do remember that, well, the one I learned from most, she does agree with what I am thinking. If it's at 12 weeks, you still have 3 weeks. So most say like 15 weeks is ideal, but then you only have 1 week left to introduce, to do everything, everything in your home, every person, any family members, visitors, everything, a dog maybe that they never had encountered before. Kittens don't have the natural automatic fright response that an adult cat or a cat after those 16 weeks has. So he will learn from things, while the adult cat might be like, I'm gonna watch the cat out of the tree situation. So yeah, that is very interesting. Was there anything else I wanted to say about this cat? So yeah, they this cat is already 6.5 months old, but they have a younger cat with them. Let's see. Lily, she's 6 months old, and it's very possible that Lily brought in some sneezing disease, because the British Shorthair was tearing and having a little bit of pus there. So she came for for vaccines, but I had to give antibiotic ointment for the eye, so we don't give vaccines at the same time, because if they're sick, the eyes are not the whole body, but still you're administering antibiotics, and in the eye they go through the body quickly, or systemically quickly. So you should not give vaccines at the same time. If any of the vets do that, please, not good. Okay, not good. So, but what could also be the case here for British Shorthair, their noses are a little bit. Excuse me, I just ate. So it's like almost 8 p.m. here. Don't know what time it is for you. But aha, I made myself confused again. Lovely. So what it also could be for British Shorthair, the nose is shorter, meaning their eyes catch more wind and their eyes are a little bit more forward than other cats. So it might get irritated more quickly. So what we often see with British Shorthairs, and especially with Persians with a very short nose, is the tear stripes, and they can become quite brown as well. So That's another thing that I don't like about certain breeds, is the short nose. They can have a lot of breathing problems from that. So yeah. So if no one has any questions, I'm just gonna leave you with, be sure to join the webinar because the spots are limited. I haven't told you that. So we only have 50 spots per webinar. So I have three of them, 14, 16, and 22 February. Is it 22? Yeah, 22 February. So you can pick any of those. Get registered now. Um, for the first two, there will be a replay, but it's best if you show up live because then you will get the most out of it. Um, so this webinar can help with any cat to make stress lower and prevent from future behavioral problems, but it will do even more wonders because you'll actually see the bigger difference with cats that actually are doing something you don't like them to do. So it's called How to Cat Feng Shui Your Home with 5 Easy Strategies. And this is all about optimizing and organizing your home in the most cat-friendly way, which will make these behaviors just melt away. They will just, yeah, it's so wondrous. Those the little things. So if you could find just the one thing, and that will solve everything. It's amazing. I love it so much. So be ready to challenge your assumptions about what it takes to solve these problems. It can be so easy, so easy. So I'm so excited to give these webinars. I'm giving you an hour and a half of my time. And right after the webinar as well will be a live Q&A. So the webinar will be assisted by my assistant, Sarah. She's lovely. I am so, so grateful to have her in my team. So I will leave you there. Um, I'm sorry no one felt safe enough maybe to comment anything, but you will see in the webinar that people will be buzzing in the chat. So you will have your chance there for sure. So be sure to show up. Um, and first of all, register. Yeah, go to vetnele.com/webinar. That is vetnele.com/webinar. And I will put the link also in the description below. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a nice day, evening, night, wherever you are.